we got some people probably going to want to see it at some point. They're not going to be able to make this call today. But, well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to the team. I know a lot of you guys are brand new. Nicholas, you're probably the newest person, literally less than an hour old. Some people have been around for a second. Mark Egan is a good buddy of mine, got involved with us a couple months ago. It's got some crazy business ventures that's going on. Just got back from China, but now he's ready to kind of get started here. So 500,000 in sales right off the bat, it sounds like, with the new product you just developed. So that's exciting all by itself. So that's good stuff.
Thank you. Very exciting.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, here's the deal. So the whole purpose of today's call is really just to kind of help get you started, get you familiar with some concepts. I've broken the call into three major areas. And so we're going to talk briefly a little bit about some business mindset you're going to need to adopt if you want to be successful at this business. I'll say this, we're going to cover some technique stuff, but that stuff right there is by far the most important aspect of this business. It's how you think. Successful people, they have two arms, they have two legs, they breathe air, do all that stuff. They're going to die one day. It's the way they think and the choices that they make that determine their success in life. All right. And so don't think that success is so far beyond you. A lot of us, we've tried different things, we've worked hard in our lives, and, sometimes it seems like it's always just around the corner, but it's like when is it going to happen? And what a lot of people fail to realize, there's some subtle habits that you're going to need to develop. But once you do, you're going to develop what I call a wealth mindset. And you'll be able to attract money just, by almost breathing. Like that sounds, I don't want to oversimplify it, but legitimately, you will attract success into your life. So we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about what I call the pillars of production. And so all that is really, it's what it takes to be successful. We're going to cover the basics. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you some different aspects of it, like how to log into the websites and things like that. And so, but that's going to be broken down into some basic product knowledge. I'm going to give you some homework assignments for you to research on your own. I want to talk a little bit about the lead system. We're going to talk briefly about how to do, you know what? I forgot. I know what's supposed to be here. It's just not. We're going to do phone script. Let me write that down so I don't forget. A little bit of phone script, how to call people and use the leads that we've got. Talk briefly about the in-home presentation, and then things like how to check your pending. And lastly, we're going to wrap up with what I call the pillars of building. And so what that is, a lot of us, when we got involved with this business, and we may talk about that here in a second. Just a quick background on me. I don't want to belabor this too long, but like when I got involved, I was doing okay. I was making $120,000 as an IT manager, Fortune 500 company. I was being groomed for upper management, all this stuff. But I didn't like corporate. I'll be two things. I didn't like the corporate environment. I thought it was toxic to somebody like me. I'm a pretty positive person. I actually enjoy like self-development. I like improving upon myself. And a lot of that stuff, believe it or not, was kind of laughed at in that culture. And so I didn't like that. I disagreed with it. But here's the other thing. I saw myself as somebody that had the potential to make a lot more than 120,000. I just could not find the vehicle that would allow me to do that, and especially looking around at corporate America. I may have gotten to 250 or 300,000, and that, I mean, at that level in corporate America, it's just like you're almost worshipped, it seems like. I was like, it seemed like chump change to me. And so, I say that to say this. When I came here, I wasn't necessarily looking just to be a career salesperson. Sales is important. It's the lifeblood of our business. We need to, if we're not making sales, we're not making money. However, I wanted to be able to trade that skill set that I developed and eventually use my mind to make money instead of my body and my knuckles and my pen out there. All right. And so although the production is extremely important and that's the focus for a lot of people, I did not want to do that for my entire career. So the building part is that a lot of us are tracking. Look on this. All right, let me see. I've got some noise coming. Mike, I'm going to mute you, brother. If you need to talk, definitely just unmute yourself, okay? There we go. Hang on, muting. It's not muting. That's so weird. All right, hopefully it is muted now. All right, can everybody still hear me? Because I'm getting ready to rock and roll. That was the agenda. All right, good stuff. All right, so the first thing you really need to identify, and I kind of just led into that a second ago, from a business mindset, try to identify and keep in front of you why you're doing this business. Some of you guys, you're doing this full time. Some of you guys are kind of doing this on the side and you have other careers. But, I'd love to take the time and opportunity to go and I'm going to probably do this with you individually, but it'd be great even just to go around the room or through the conference call right now and kind of find out what it is. I'll say this, most of us want something more than we're currently experiencing in life. Some of us are looking forward to a better future, a different version of maybe of our current experience. Whatever that is, keep that in front of you. And here's why. You're getting involved with a business. Business is not all, roses and sunshine and rainbows and stuff. It is one of the most rewarding things you will ever probably do in your life if you stick around long enough to kind of see yourself through some of the stuff you've got to go through to get there. But business can be tough. When you connect back to why you're doing it, when I started, I had like a cork board and I had like different imagery up on it. One was like a stack of cash. One was a credit card with a like arrow through it, house. In fact, I got to get back to doing next. Like our next dream is Courtney and I want to move on the river. And so I want a long dock in the St. Johns River, nice size house on the river, boat house, jet skis, boat. And so there's some things that, I've yet to accomplish that I need to start putting back in front of me, because that's going to help you kind of get through the mundane of this stuff. There's nothing crazy hard about our business. There's going to be some stuff that's going to bore you to tears, but if you don't do it, you're not going to make money. Dialings like that, setting your appointments each week. So you've got to really kind of connect why you did this in the first place. There's a good reason. Just figure out what that is and put it in front of you. I'd love to talk to you more about that individually, but we don't have time to kind of get into that right now. Second thing on the business mindset is really cultivate an attitude of winning. This is important. Most people don't have this. And the biggest sign that somebody doesn't have it is if you'll just listen to them. If you just talk to them, they're going to say things like they're going to use language where they blame other things, or they're going to talk negatively about themselves. In this book, it's Jack Canfield is one of my favorite books I've ever read. I wouldn't recommend jumping right out because it's about that thick. I will say it's extremely well divided up into chapters. The very first chapter of this book, though, it simply says, take 100% responsibility for everything in your life. Here, I'll show you. And I read this book years and years and years ago, over a decade ago I read it. But I stand by that. Like, there it is, chapter 1. It's chapter 1 for a reason. Take 100% responsibility for your life. And so there's some crazy stuff in there. I'd love to sit here and read to you. And then, because I've just got, I'm looking at my old notes and like the notes that I wrote myself and stuff. And it's crazy though. I want to talk 2 seconds about this. When you blame things that are going wrong in your life on other people or circumstances or events or the weather or politics, it doesn't matter. Just pick your favorite excuse. Anytime you blame, you give up the right to change it. Subconsciously you do, is what happens. In reality, the only thing we can truly control in this world is ourselves. And there's really just 2 things inside of that really makes a difference when it comes to business. One is your attitude and the other is your activity. That's it. You really can't control a lot more than how you look at life. So that's your attitude and your activity. Because at the end of the day, it's not, you ever wondered how bad people become successful? All right. And I'll say this, you'll see bad people and it's like, oh my gosh, they're a jerk or whatever. Maybe they got an incredible work ethic. They're going to achieve success because of that activity. And a lot of people kind of get superstitious here and they think if they're a good person, success finds them. And if they're not a good person, that's not. I wish the morality worked just like that. I mean, because I think the world, we have a sign at our house that says, hey, dear karma, I think you forgot it's like, I have a list of people that it looks like you forgot. Right. And because we sort of have this attitude that a lot of times, and especially salespeople, because salespeople, they're worse than baseball players. They're some of the most superstitious people I've ever met. And it's like, oh, I did a good deed this week. And it's like, where's my success? And it doesn't work like that. Bad people can become successful with proper activity. Here's what bad people don't realize. If they don't change their attitude and they don't get that, they're going to have a hard time holding on to that success. But anybody can gain success through activity. So there's 2 things that you can control, your activity and your attitude. And once you have both of them, you've given yourself the keys, not only gain success, but also to hold on to it. And that's a part that a lot of people miss. And so you're going to have to, so working on that attitude part it's more complex than just like having this rosy disposition all the time. I'll show you this. I don't know if I have time to go through it right now, but I'll show you just a couple. You're going to need some of this stuff in your head. All right. These are self-development books. These are leadership books. These are positivity books. Stuff that people used to make fun of me for because I was interested in, right? And it's interesting though, if you've ever had to write a term paper, if you've ever had to do anything like that, you put the very best of yourself into that. Like that's going to represent like who you are. And so these guys make millions of dollars and they go on to write books. You're talking about the very best of the best, putting the best of the best that they have into something. It's probably worth reading. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that really kind of changed my life. It really opened up my mind on owning a business instead of being somebody's employee. Think and Grow Rich. This is the original self-development book by Napoleon Hill. It's fantastic. These are all on the NAA reading list. The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I thought I was above this book when I read it, when I started to read it, because I'm like, oh, I'm a people person. You know, later I would find out that it's because of my personality type. I'm what they call an otter. There's 4 different types. You got golden retriever, otter, beaver, and a lion. And I'll send each one of you the personality test. You can do it on your phone. It takes 5 minutes, and that'll reveal a lot about you. But this book, man, it taught me so much about how to interact with people, also what makes people tick. And in sales, you're going to need to understand that, and especially in leadership and building a team as well. Magic of thinking big. Give yourself permission to have that big old dream. It's crazy how your imagination has the power to envision skyscrapers, but also just like a cup of coffee. Learn to dream big. There's magic behind that. This is by Schwartz. Yeah, David Schwartz. A very good book. Opens your mind a little bit. This is what I call the sales Bible. It's How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Becker. It's a great book. And then we got our classics. We got our, well, hang on. Let me give you one more, and then I'm going to get to Andy's books. So Goals by Brian Tracy. I thought this book was going to be boring and about like writing down your goals and just like the most crazy, stupid stuff. This is one of the best books I've ever read. And also, interesting enough, I've traveled the world with Andy Albright. Every trip that I've ever been on, he has this book with him. So if he thinks it's important, I think it's important. Here, I'd recommend this one to start off with. Ready? And here's why. This is called The Greatest Salesman in the World. It's by Og Mandino. And check it out. It's thin. So that's a great starter kit. Like if you're not used to reading on a regular basis, this book has nothing to do with sales. And that'll be the only hint that I give you about it. If you don't have this book, you need to let me know. This is Andy Albright's very first book. It's called The 8 Steps to Success. We're going to talk about that in a second. This is our CEO and president. That's what he looks like. Andy Albright, incredible guy. His second book is called The Millionaire Maker Manual. All right, that's also by him. This is more of a tech manual. It's really, Nicholas, I need to just remind Joseph. I'll pop one of these in the mail. Dion, I need to get you this book too. So if you could just please let Joseph know. I got a chat request. Let's see. Ricky Williams, Audible is great. Oh yeah, yeah. Dude, tell me about it. I just got back from Alabama. He's saying Audible is a great way to increase your reading. It'll double overnight. That's important. Reading, the physical act of reading is also important. Step 3 is listen, like to Audible. Step 4 is actually physically read. It's a pain in the butt, Ricky, but I have to do it because it increases your critical thinking skills. The ability to think on your feet while talking is directly derived from your, somehow it's almost like, you know how cutting a straight line has to do with your reading ability. Critical thinking is also linked to the physical act of reading, not listening. So it's important. So you got to develop both, unfortunately. Inside the Circle of You, this is his latest book. It's fantastic. Remember when I started the call talking about there's 2 things that you control. It's really kind of this whole book is a lot about that. Is really kind of controlling what's inside of your world. Biggest thing though, if you didn't take away anything from all those crazy books that I just showed up on the screen there, if you only do one thing, that's if you stop blaming, you'll change your life. Because all of a sudden, like here, I'm going to draw something on a piece of paper here and let you look at it. See if I can get this thing working right. All right, this is going to be an experiment, so hang tight. We're going to see if I can get this camera working. It's experimental. All right, no video. All right, and I need to make myself a spotlight video. There we go. Get my hand in there. It's like remember the slide overheads you used to have when you were in school? A lot like that. There we go. Just had to focus off. All right, so here's the deal. Like if this is you. Oh, that's yo. Yo, let's do this. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. There's a leadership lesson. There's you. All right, and so outside of you, you have things like this is like your attitude and your activity. And then you've got things like the weather, and you got things like the economy, you got things like your mom or dad, you even got things like your husband or your wife, and then you got your kids and circumstances, you got traffic. Traffic's a good one. Let's use that one. You're late to work. You say, oh, traffic was really, I'm so sorry I'm late. Traffic was really bad. So as soon as you do that, you, without even realizing it, you've assigned blame to an external circumstance that you have no control over. Now, here's the problem with that. You are doomed to repeat this problem over and over again, because as soon as you blame, you shut down your subconscious on trying to work on that problem. When you realize that traffic was a factor, you say, I'm so sorry, I have no excuses, it's my fault. The next time that like you get up to leave for work or whatever it is, you leave earlier. And I know that this is a very simplistic thing, but this is a big deal, understanding this. By placing the problem inside the realm of something you can control, which is like, once you take blame for something, you bring the problem inside, and one of the most powerful things in the universe gets going at it, and that's your mind. That is your subconscious brain. It starts to work on the problems. Anytime you say, it's not my fault, it's their fault, it's their fault, well, this happened. You basically relieve yourself of solving any problems. In fact, you just go on about your day. But what happens is, what's the clinical definition of insanity? Trying to do the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. That's basically what happens to you. You end up in this Groundhog Day thing. And so I'll say this too. I'll draw it this way. If this is you, and this is your area of responsibility, this is also directly linked to your pay. The more responsibility you take, the bigger your money. The more problems you know how to solve and are willing to solve and take responsibility for, the more money you're going to make. And so, very simplistic. I like to kind of show it that way. Let me kick back over here, just because it kind of gives people a sort of a beat on what I'm talking about. But that concept right there is so important, that you start taking responsibility, and your life will improve almost immediately as soon as you make that decision. There's a good book by John Gordon. I don't have it in front of me. It's called The No Complaining Rule. That's a very good book, kind of along that same vein. All right, I got to keep rolling because we got a lot to cover, but this mindset stuff, trust me, is it. This business, next bullet point I've got here is, this business definitely takes discipline. You've got no boss in this. I will be your friend. I'm happy to be your leader if you'll allow me. I want to show you how to make money. I've made millions in this industry. And I've been doing it. I mean, I should have. I've been doing this 11 years, but I think I added it up. And over the last 11 years, I'm well over 5 million so far. It may be higher than that. I need to go retally. But, we've gotten into incomes that supersede, $500,000 a year. I'm a kid that grew up on a dirt road in a double wide trailer. I don't come from money, but I've learned some things. I've learned how to develop a wealth mentality. And now I'm capable of making not just that, but a lot more. I will make over $1 million in a single year. That's coming. It's not even a question for me, because I know the recipe. Now I got to continue doing the same things that I know work long enough to where it actually takes. And so but this call's not about me. This is about you. And so here's the deal. Let me say this. I'll use this analogy. When we're babies, we have our parents. When we go to grade school, we have our teachers. We go to high school, they start giving us a little bit more responsibility. But, mom and dad tell us when to eat, when we got to go to bed. Teachers say, here, these are the subjects you got to. High school teachers say you need to be in this classroom by this time. Your lunch break is this long. All right. And then you finally graduate high school. You go to college. Some people do. And you got professors. They lax up a little bit. They have more deadline type stuff, but they're still telling you how much you got to do, where you're going to be. And then you graduate, you get a job. And you have a boss that tells you when you got to be at work, where you got to be, how you got to act, all this stuff. And then finally get sick of your job and you decide to try something like this, either on the side or in addition to. And for the first time in your life, you've got no one that tells you where to be, how to be, or anything like that. You have guys like me that say, hey, you should try this, but I'm not your boss. I'm basically a guide for you. I mean, I'm somebody that has experience. I've had decent success in doing this business. But I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, did you make your dials this week? That's on you. That's discipline. And so here's what I want to say about that. Discipline is easy when your desire is high. You don't have to be disciplined when you have a strong desire to win. So more than anything, if I could just get people falling in love with winning, you don't need to be disciplined, because you're going to be so consumed. Here's the deal. You will always work on what you want to do the most. And so when you got this business inside of you, and it's not something you're trying on the outside, but it's really something it's like eating inside of you. Like when I started this business, I couldn't sleep. All I thought about was getting rich and being not even rich. I just wanted to be financially free. I wanted to be able to have the means to control my schedule. I wanted to I did want money. I wanted to be able to buy my kids stuff and do fun things and travel and stuff like that. I wanted freedom so bad. And when I came here and I finally saw a viable vehicle that allowed me to transcend past just $100,000, which I did my very first year in doing this. And by year 2, we were already in the 200. By year 3, we were already making 300. For the first time in my life, I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually something that works. Because I've tried some crazy stuff. This is the first one that stuck. And it stuck 11 years ago when I got involved in 2007. And so I say that to say this again. I'm just going to repeat it one more time and I'll move on. When you don't know why you're doing something, but you're doing it, it requires a lot of discipline to do the things that are mundane. When you want something, you just do it. You don't have to be disciplined at it. You just instinctively do the things necessary. You read the books, you get the leads, you jump on the phone. You can't help yourself because it's all consuming. I had a joke in my head, but I don't know my audience that well yet, so I'm going to leave it alone for now. All right. Last thing, two things. I think I'll get the other camera out again too. Association is big. You ever notice how successful and rich people know each other? Mark, you've been seeing a lot of this, I'm sure, right? With some of the dealings you've had in China and these other places in the world. But it seems to be like this universal constant that successful people know each other. And I want to show you something. This is important that you start to understand this. So I'm going to flip back over to my handy dandy desk cam and draw some pictures for you. And then we're going to move on to some practical things, I promise. This stuff is really extremely important. There's my hand. All right. So here's the deal. I'll start with this little picture. You are really, if this is you again, we're going to start with that circle of you. I'm hoping the camera will focus here in just a second. Give it a minute. It usually does. Let me flip it back and forth. Take focus off, put it back on. All right. Well, if I keep my hand here, I'm hoping. Hey, what a pretty, I should be a hand model. Okay. So here's you. If this is, let's just say you got people at work, you got your best friend, you got some acquaintances or your neighbors, you got your mom and dad, maybe your sister. This is just one example. These are 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 5 people that you talk to the most and you're the closest to. Here's the ironic thing. If you look at your checking account and you somehow can either estimate or go look at their checking account and then you average them out, it's going to be very close to what you actually have in your checking account. Association is a very, very real thing. So inside of each and every one of us, we have a desire to connect with other human beings. Rich people understand that they have a choice in who they connect with is all. They still have great, deep relationships. They're careful to cultivate relationships that will increase their bottom line. Does that mean they're transactional? No. If you're going to have to choose people to be in your life anyway and to spend some time with, why not make it a win-win situation? These people, here's the one thing that all of these people have in common. They're not bad people. They're great people, but they're easy and comfortable to be around. People like Andy Albright that make, well in excess to $10 to $20 million a year outside of his company. I mean, he's going to make you feel uncomfortable. But if you can somehow bring him into one of your sphere, either through the TWC every week and watching that, by going to your opportunity meetings in your local area or what do you call it, your sales meetings or whatever you call it there, going to boot camps like we've got one on December 8th here in Jacksonville, Florida. I will be streaming it like this. It's not going to be the same experience though at being here in person, but getting around people, you need to start thinking about really thinking about the time that you spend. And we're not saying replace these people, but we are saying maybe move them over a little bit and allow yourself some time for give yourself some rich friends. Like in the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki talked about how he had his biological dad, that he called that his poor dad. And then his rich dad, which was this guy that was a mentor to him. And so it doesn't mean he hated his dad, his biological, but he started listening and getting financial advice to people that made a lot more money than him. Again, success is nothing more than thinking patterns. It's making routine choices over and over and over again that are going to garner success. Here's the other thing that's about association. What we do is unusual a little bit. It's like I was in Indy yesterday, flew through Detroit, went to Birmingham, drove home. The 2 days before that, I was in Birmingham, Alabama. So try and get this thing to focus again. Sorry. I was in Birmingham, Alabama, and then for 2 days I ran business out there, and I helped 18 families, and I made right about $10,000. Today's the day before Thanksgiving. I'm in my own office, and I'm talking to you guys, and I'm getting ready to go home and have some turkey, or not turkey. We're going to do a family movie tonight and do something else fun. But here's what I don't do. I don't get up every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and go to jobs. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. All right. And so I want to make that clear. What we do is we own our own businesses. So we have some different behavior. But if we have different behavior and we expect different results than the norm, then it has to make sense that we do have to kind of change the way we think about things a little bit. And we have to value things that the average person does not value. All right. So, so close. Hang on. I hate not having a sharp picture. So forgive me if hey, look at that. It's perfect. All right, so here's the deal. Well, y'all can see this is just going to be arrows. So here are normal people in their 9 to 5 lives. You know, they have their routines on the weekend that they do. They got Monday through Friday figured out, and it's basically Groundhog Week every week. And so most of the people that we come in contact with in our lives right now make up 95% of the U.S. population works for somebody else. 5% of people actually own their own business or are self-employed. All right. So the majority of these people are here. And then here you come along. Hey, I want to join this crowd. They seem to make more money. They seem to have a lot more freedom. They seem to control their time, you know, and they smile a lot and they're happy. They get to do stuff. Well, great. Welcome. We've got a great system that's going to teach you. It's not so unlike a franchise. The big difference between us and a franchise is there's no startup fees. Yes, you have license fees, and you know, you got to learn things like how to spend your money wisely on leads and not overspend and stuff like that. If you know, you want to try to do it like on a routine basis, but you're basically donning the hat of a business owner. And all of a sudden you're facing this direction. Now, here's the deal. If you spend all of your time with these people and you don't get around other business owners on a regular basis, the more people that are doing this type of business and in business that you can surround yourself with, the stronger your will, the stronger your desire, and the stronger your resolve will be to continue forward and to make it through. But when you fail to surround yourself with these people, you don't listen to calls, you don't go to hotspots, you don't go to the conferences, you don't go to boot camps. It's basically you in your home, you're fired up for 5 minutes about doing something new. But what happens is you face these people in life. And over time, if you're not around the fire, this starts getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And eventually you turn around and you start doing what everybody else always does. Because it is impossible to swim against this stream by yourself. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people to survive in this type of business. And so that's what I call association. And so just be mindful of it. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this. And believe you me, if I'm talking about it this much, I promise you it's very, very important. Okay. And so, all right. That's association. That's the end of business mindset. It's 3:02, so that took about 30 minutes. And so we're gonna go through the next thing we're gonna transition to is the pillar of productions. We're gonna get in some hands-on type stuff. But please hear me on that first part. I can give you the best tools in the world, but if you fail to cultivate a business mindset, this business is gonna be very difficult for you. You've got to think like a winner. You've got to think like a successful person. I will say this, successful people don't always expect success. In fact, unsuccessful people, when they try something, automatically expect success. They think the system garners all the results. The system is extremely strong. You got to work at it, but successful people expect failure. Michael Jordan has failed more than I think, like on free shot throws. He's missed more than any other player out there. I think that he still holds the record, but he's made more too. And the reason is winners and successful people expect failure. You've got to know what you're doing by counseling with people that have had some experience. Figure out if what you're doing is right, and then keep refining your activity until it works for you. But expect failure. You're going to fail. It's going to hurt. But on the other side, it's worth it more than anything you could possibly imagine. I promise you. When you get to I just the first time that my wife and I got to fly halfway around the world, and we went to Fiji, you know, and I got to be on the other side of the world with my wife. The first time we got to tour the Greek islands, and I was standing on the top of Mykonos and looking down, and Santorini was beautiful, you know. Or you know what, just stupid things like being at dinner, and when everybody, you know, when the bill shows up, you secretly kind of winked over to the waiter, and you got your family out there, and they're like, "Where's our bill?" And we're like, "Oh, we got it," and you get to pick that up. and you get to do it, and you're not stressed out about it, and you're like, you almost laugh because you have so much money in the bank that you won't even notice this. Like, it's not even going to be a factor or even on your radar. And so it's these little things like that that are, again, kind of tie that back to why you're doing it. But the mind, if you don't have a business mindset and you're not willing to go through some junk to get there, you're going to be pretty much the same person you are right now for the rest of your life. And if you're happy with yourself, fantastic. But when I started, and I'm still to this day, I'm not happy. I'm happy. I'm not satisfied. I'm very happy. I was happy when I was broke. Like, really. I'm like a puppy dog. I have a tail that wag. I mean, I'm just, people know, like, oh, what's wrong with Chris? I mean, it's because I wear it on my sleeve. So I'm just a very happy person. But I wasn't satisfied. I'm still not today. And so I'm working on bigger and better things. And I'm trying to take as many people as I can with me. I'm hoping some of you will adopt this business mindset and come with me. And man, this is going to be a big year for us. 2019 is going to be massive. So I'm trying to get as many people on board and take this journey with us as we can before the year starts. All right, pillars of production. First thing you need to learn really is get some basic knowledge of the products. I want to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you where we're going to get that. I'm going to give you some homework, so get your pens out, get ready. But check this out. So let me share my screen. Let's go over to, I guess over here to WhatsApp. Let's share that. All right, y'all should be able to see WhatsApp right now. I'm just going to, my keyboard go. All right, so here we go. This is important too, WhatsApp by itself. You're going to want to join this. This is where you get agent support for our group. Joseph or myself, we can add you to it. Or Courtney. They have people like Annette's out there in the field right now. She's done 7 apps so far this week for 1,113. That was me up in Indy. That was me. I like to make little collages of my clients. Deanna, you probably remember I took a picture with you. You know, so a lot of times it ends up here. Like I helped, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. Had 18 apps for $9,000 for the weekend. I threw that out there. So, you know, we communicate out here, but we also ask a lot of questions to each other and stuff. We post our leaderboards out here. And so anyway, just something to be thinking about. It's a great place for support. I got to try to move this down because I want to, give me 2 seconds, guys. Here we go. Gotta be able to see what I'm doing here. All right. 2 areas that you're going to get support from. One of the most valuable resources you're going to have at your disposal, is NAAuniversity.com. All right, this is crazy good. All right, so as soon as you go to this page, you're going to see like the quick start stuff. In fact, getting started quickly is a link if you're brand new. This is a good one. But here's some of the stuff that's going to be on it. In-home presentation is course 123. Appointment setting and making phone calls is course 124. Strong foundation is course 184. These are products. And so as I'm sticking to my agenda here, in fact, let me just click on over. I'm going to click this button here. Notice I'm not even logged in yet. You have access to this right now, whether you have like something or not. Phone script, in-home presentation, products. Look at all these videos that you get to watch. In-home presentation, how to use the ATM binder right there. Several people. Here's Jane Hill, fantastic, great person, good friend of mine. You know, and it talks about like strong foundation. Here's your product tour. All right, and then like this is all under making dials. This has nothing to do with anything but making dials. So you have like 4 videos and of course right here that you get to go through. You've got in-home presentation right here. Let me skip that one and go to products real quick. So term products, Term Life Express, Safe Shield. I'll say this: there's 4 products. Let me see, is it 4 or 5? I'm gonna start my camera up again and share that with you, and I'm gonna show you which products you need to write. You should be getting these already in your, let me stop that share. Let me turn my camera back on. All right, so you got, here's the basic products you need. We sell a lot of mortgage protection. For that, I want you to write, there's 2 products you can write. You just pick one. I don't tell you that. I like Forrester's Strong Foundation though. Forrester's Strong Foundation 1. Deanna, this is actually the policy that was sold to you originally before we converted it. But for a basic mortgage protection policy, fantastic product. It's got some great kids benefits if they're family members. The alternative to this one is CFG's Safe Shield. I will opt, though, I will say this. If you need simple, these guys are super simple. This is a very easy app to write. These guys offer more benefits, and there's future opportunities to help people get into something that's a little more longer lasting down the road. So I like Forrester's Strong Foundation. So that's just an abbreviation. Strong Foundation 1 is what that is. This is my pick. So do your homework on that one, and we'll see the courses here in a second. We sell something else called Final Expense. This is going to be geared towards people that are 50 and older that are really not necessarily trying to protect a mortgage, but want to make sure they have something in place. When they die, it will pay off. All right. And so the way that works is that my choice there for you, if you'll get, so you need, first of all, if you're not contracted, these are the company you need to get contracted with. This is the company, this is the product. Second company is Mutual of Omaha. That's the company. And for the Final Expense product, it's called Living Promise. Okay. Then we have to get what's it's called Impaired Risk. Impaired risk acts a lot like Final Expense, but these people are sick. They've had a heart attack at some point in their life. Maybe it was over 2 years ago or 4 years ago, and we can get them a really good rate, but they're still impaired. Like Mutual of Omaha, once somebody has cancer or a heart attack, Living Promise is off the table. It's just not going to happen. And you can definitely kiss mortgage protection goodbye. So impaired risk. So the company is Transamerica. The product's called Solutions. Very good, easy calculator on your phone. I'll probably go over a couple of those with you. I'll share my phone so you guys can see it. Again, I think there's an email that goes out to you guys that get this, like once you finish your contract or once you pass your state license test. So if you're not, but it's worth covering real quick. And then here's the fourth product, and this is what we call, guaranteed issue. These people, let me say this, these people had a heart attack 2 or 4 years ago. Guaranteed issue, these people had a heart attack last week. Nobody's touching these people. They have cancer, they're on dialysis, they have a kidney disease. And so we use what's called Great Western. There's another one I'll give you as an alternative called AIG. They're both fantastic products. This is actually easier, I think, to write. It's an EAP, AIG. So make sure you're contracted with AIG, Great Western, Transamerica, Mutual of Omaha, and Forrester's at a very minimal. So we have 16 companies. Notice I've only got like 4/5 on here right now. You'll be able to write 99% of everything you're going to do with just these companies right here. And so just take note of those. All right, so how do we learn about these? Hopefully you've taken notes and you can see it now. Well, I'm going to share my screen again. Let me change the camera back. All right, and let me share my main screen. No, not my screen. That's too much. Here we go. You can start quickly. All right, where do you learn about this? So when you come up here to resources, just go to courses, my courses, right here. Now you got to log in. This is your NAA username and password that you should, when you did a fast track, Joseph probably, if you're brand new, Joseph probably just did that for you. I know he just did it for you. Sorry, oh, you're fine. No, you don't have to apologize. I'm just coughing. All right, and so here's the deal. These are really good courses. All right, and so anti-money laundering, everybody needs to take course 105. That's just it. You're not going to get appointed with insurance carriers if you don't take that. So if you just got your license, make sure you knock that out. 8 steps. These are all very good, but let me focus because I see them like, oh my gosh, this is a good one too. All right, here's what I want to make sure. Notice course 184, Forrester Strong Foundation. There you go. Let's go check that one out. So I'm going to view it. But the whole point of me doing this, first of all, we got a video, a 32-minute video of Gina Hawk. She's our product specialist for the whole company. Does a 30-minute video with PowerPoint and explaining the ins and outs of it. So it's got some features, you got a bonus video, like how to fill the app out and stuff, and you get to take the exam and quiz yourself on it, basically. All right, so pretty cool, right? And so that's Strong Foundation. What was some of the other ones I said? You got Living Promise, Mutual of Omaha. All right, so I don't see it here. It's probably further down. It's probably under Final Expense or something. Let's see, Mutual of Omaha. Term Life, Foundation, CFG. So those are required courses. Let's go up to courses and view all courses. So if I don't see what you're looking for here, just go to view. These are the ones I want you to kind of knock out. So that's what that is. But now if we go to all courses, and don't worry if you see dollars, Oh, they're cleaning. Sorry, banging outside. There's no cost for any of these. If there is a cost, let me know. We have vouchers. So it's just that you can do stuff that they kind of give you vouchers. They're just trying to show you value in the courses. But Mutual of Omaha, Living Promise, course 182, you can write that one down. You can search for it, right? And so you click on that. And so you're going to find all the stuff that I just referenced on that piece of paper. And so this is a great way to learn about your product. So instead of trying to teach you all this stuff myself, I'm just going to be a great pointer and point you in the right direction. All right. And so this is go to courses, view all courses. Then you have to hit all courses again to see all the different products and stuff like that. So these are great courses for you to learn about the products I just spoke of. All right. So that's your product knowledge. Flip this back over. All right. Where to get answers. NAA University is what I put there. All right. Next thing is I do want to talk about is, so the first pillar, let me recap so I stay on track here. Let me stop the share. All right. So first pillar of production is really just having a basic understanding of your products, and it's basically those 4 products that I mentioned. Also, how to learn about them. The last thing I want to say on this is this: that WhatsApp app, that's going to be. I'm sorry, I do want to show you one thing. Where is my phone? See my phone anywhere? Give me a second because I want to. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Talk to Joseph.
I think I was looking for your phone. By the way, if you need that email for what the products he was talking about, I was going to have Chris tell you guys that. Let Chris know, and I'll send you guys an email so you see like a list of those products. Kind of simplifies it for you, too. That was the stuff I was talking to you about, Paul. You got it?
What's that? It's probably somewhere on my desk. Can you call it real fast? Yeah. Can any of y'all call it? A lot of y'all have my number. But I got it set up now where I can actually share my phone on this. Is it down? Oh, I hear it. Where is it? Oh, it's right here on this paper.
Oh, yeah.
Found it. All right.
I can hear it.
It was right there. It was buzzing. All right, let me do this. So a resource that you're going to need. Share. So hang tight. I got to share. I got to get you over to this. Zoom, Chris.
All that stuff we was talking about, Chris, I told them we have an email, so if they,
Okay, good.
they don't have the office line, they can text that.
Right. All right, perfect. All right, so what you're looking at my iPhone and all the crazy icons that I've got on it. Something that I want you to, hang on a second, how do I do like that? Let me do, actually, I think I was already on it right there. Yeah, this is probably good here. Okay. This is my website, LGF, Long Group Financial. And so you literally just go to, you see how it says lgfsupport.com right there at the top. You're going to hit this button here, right? Resources, quoting tools. So if you hit that, it brings you to this page. You don't have to have a password to get into this part. What I want to talk about here, so first of all, here's all your mobile calculators. So like once you've taken your courses and you feel confident and how to do it, literally like Forrester's mobile calculator, you just touch it right there and it pops right open. So it'd be, bookmark it. Like if you want to do a strong foundation quote, here's how hard it is. So you choose your state, choose, so right now it's Alabama, 35-year-old male for $250,000. You hit get quote. It says, hey, for 10 years, it's $54 for that. So we just ran a quote. So the tools are really easy to use. But what I want to show you is this part here. So each one of these obviously has like calculators and stuff. So it's just kind of a shortcut that I made it really for me and y'all have access to it. Mortgage protection. Like when you start writing policies and you're like, hey, this person has this condition. So so I just hit mortgage protection, mortgage term grid. And so let's just say somebody has Crohn's disease, right? So let's look at Crohn's disease. So you come down here, and you open this up. It's a decline. CFG SafeShield is a decline if less than 3 years since last flare-up. So if they're at 4 years, means they could get the SafeShield product. Forrester's is just basically it's okay if it's over 5 years and being in remission. So the whole point in this, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on whether like the different Crohn's stuff or whatever. But there's a whole lot of stuff, even lifestyle type stuff like parole or probation. Force or strong, if jail time has been served, we'll consider 5 years after parole. For criminal activity after no jail time, we'll consider 1 year after probation and parole. So this isn't a medical thing, but it's still on the underwriting grid. So I just want to kind of show you where that's at. These are very helpful. And they're right there on your phone. And so this is another resource for you. And again, one of the biggest places. So if we come here, you need to join this agent support deal. And you can ask a question, asking a pretend question for a call. Someone say hi. And I put it out there. Usually very quickly, somebody's going to come back and they're going to say, hey, or something like that. But whether somebody comes back or not, because it is the day before Thanksgiving, this is where you ask your questions if you don't know like quite what the answer or even where to start. Yeah, but we can send that to you. All right, I'm not going to sit here and wait for it because I do want to keep rolling. All right, we'll give it 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Didn't happen. All right, we're back. Okay, so the whole point in that whole section was just it's a pillar of production. It's is knowing about what products you need to and how to get information and how to ask questions on. And so I think I've given you at least the ability to learn about those things. Next thing is leads. So here's the deal. Leads for me. So this will probably be your biggest. There's no money to join the company. But it is a business, and so I've always considered leads what they call in economics cost of goods sold. Dayana, you run a business. Mark, I know you definitely do. If you've ever had to deal with your accountant, you know all about cost of goods sold. So basically, you're buying something, and you're in industry, you're refining it. Like you would buy, iron ore, but you're going to turn that into steel by combining it with some other stuff. Your cost of goods sold is what you spend on the iron ore. In our world, we can do cold calls, we can work referrals, but a lot of us, it basically boils down to time versus money. Time is a finite resource. Money you can make more of. And so at a certain point, and I'll say this, you either have more time or more money, right? And the goal in life is try to balance it where you have both. And that's one of the reasons I chose a business like this, is because I wanted time and money. But I will say this, a business person will learn how to spend money to create time in their life. So one of the obvious ways to do that is, in our world, we have a lead system that helps us do that. Further on, as you start building a business, the way you do is you hire staff to help multiply your time. And it's like Joseph is a good friend of mine, works here in the office, but the whole time I was out of town, I was still working. He was calling guys like Nicholas, like you. He was basically finding good candidates for our business so I didn't have to stop just because I was running business. And I was at a conference in Indianapolis with our CEO and president. I spent some money. I'm spending my money every single week that, provides an income for him and his family, but I'm trading money to create more time. And once you understand that, you're onto something there. That's a big secret of business, is learning how to properly spend money to create time in your life, because the more, and I'll say this, the more productive time that you can create, the more successful you will become. So backing all the way up, let's not even talk about staff. Let's just get right back into basics of it. We have a lead system that's incredible. Hey, did you go to the lead? Remember that on the, where we show the plan? Yeah, thanks, buddy. I'll show you one in a second. So Dayana, years and years and years ago, when you sent one of these in, that's how, it wasn't me, it was somebody else, and then I inherited you. Somebody quit and you became a client. But so we do, our company, we mail out about 1.2 million letters out every week in our huge mail house facility up in Burlington, North Carolina. It's a massive endeavor. The printing presses are very impressive. They turn out they print, fold, and stuff like 3 envelopes every second. I mean, it's with data, like the correct data on it stuff. So they have this massive thing going on. And it costs them, I think it's like, to get one back, 98% of everybody gets one of our letters, throws it away. That's great. It sounds sad, but it's great because we don't want to talk to people that have no interest in our product. Thanks, bud. All right. And so this is what they look like. I'm not going to turn the camera. I'm just going to hold it up so you can see it and get the light adjust. But so Nicholas, this is like brand new to you, but like, see, this is actually a real one. So this person's up in Beaufort, South Carolina. Mark's like, hey, it's not too far down the road from me. All right. And so loan amount was $122,000. This is obviously a little bit older one. It looks like the loan closed on October 18th. Oh, okay. I'm getting on the windows. Sorry. We have people walking through our office. Sorry. But this is it. Notice there's no promises of like Ginsu knives or trip to Hawaii. Like our opening volley for marketing is the word death. Hey, if you die, we're going to pay off your $122,000 mortgage. Most people, when they get this, they don't even get out of the envelope. But look at the people that are saying, you know what, I could actually, that disability, unemployment looks good. They put their name, date of birth, height, weight, sex, smoking status on there. And then they call, or they call that 1-800 number, or they mail this thing in. All right, so the bottom line is, though, NAA is spending a lot of their money, requires zero from us up front. So they basically have taken this part of the business off of our hands, and they do an incredible job marketing for us. Our job is we buy these letters at reduced costs, because it costs $80. It costs $80 to produce one signed piece of paper is what the cost comes out to. Our cost is nowhere near that. I think when you start off a brand new one, is only like $30. All right. So who pays the rest of it? Well, I do as your manager. So you got $30 to you. You got $30 to me. That's 60. Who pays the other 30? Andy Albright does. His lead bill, he loses money on the lead system every single year. I asked him about it one time. We were in Vegas together at a conference. He says, Bo, because he's a redneck from South Carolina or North Carolina. He says, Bo, it's not. I said, is that like a lost leader? I was trying to sound like all corporate-y. I said, is that what you call a lost leader? He goes, Bo, it ain't lost. He says, that's the reason we're the #1 insurance marketing group in the whole U.S. And I was like, got it. And so we don't lead. The lead program is a completely optional thing. You do not, nobody forcing you. There's no quotas. You're not expected to. It's a tool for us. And, you got guys like me. If I've got some old leads in an area, I'm probably going to help you out and get started. Because in the beginning, I understand not everybody's going to have a bunch of money, but if you do and you're ready to run, it's the shortest path towards really kind of getting continuity in your business. All right. And so learn the lead system. There's an NAA course university. I'm going to cover in depth on December 8th here in Jacksonville, Florida at our boot camp. That boot camp is on Saturday, December 8th from 10 a.m. till 3. So you can come in the night before if you're out of town, and you can leave at like 4 or 5 o'clock if you have a flight or you're just driving. But and I will stream it. I just can't guarantee the quality of it. And it's always better to be around, of course, that association thing again, getting around other people. It'll be a good experience. We're going to have a lot of fun. We usually buy lunch for everybody. No cost to attend. So we'll have a lot of fun. But I spend a lot of time on it. But the second pillar of production is leads and understanding them. Know the cost models. Again, there's a whole NAA university course on it, so you can take it. I just wanted to introduce it to you to kind of get your mind wrapped around it. I will say, when you start off, it's not uncommon for for 40% of your gross be expended on leads. As you get going, after about 3 weeks of getting leads on a regular basis, that number really needs to come down to 16 to 20% of your overall gross. If it's not, if you're spending more than 16 to 20% of your gross income, average it on a month because it's too small. A week is too small of a figure. Then we need to take a look at, hey, there's probably some areas you could improve upon. There's some skill sets missing that we could work on to get you better at that. And happy to do that. I do a lot of coaching right here on video, but people come to the office. I sit where Joseph sat, and the other person sits right there, and we just kind of get into it and say, hey, tell me about it. We practice phone script. We're going to do some basic phone script here in a few minutes. I'll show you, but it's if your profitability is ever out of whack, it's probably just a skill set thing we need. Sometimes the skill set's up here, and that's why we read the books and stuff. Sometimes it's your phone script. Sometimes you sound like a telemarketer, and you sound fine to you, but to a trained ear, I'm like, oh, it's the intonation. They don't like what you're saying there, and I can pick it out. I've been doing it so dang long. It's just like the back of my hand now. So the second pillar of production are your leads and understanding. All right, there's really, I'll say 2.5 left, because the last one's just something I threw it in there. It is important, but the next one, number 3, is your phone script and your ability to set appointments. And so listen to me when I say this. If there's one skill that you master, if you are better than any other skill than in this business in terms of personal production, I'd say the number one skill you need to master would be your phone script. And when I say script, I almost don't like saying that because script sounds like something telemarketers use. You need to learn how to talk to people. That's it. It sounds stupid simple, and it is. We complicate it. And the reason we complicate it as people is we think we have to sound professional. We think that we're a salesperson. I need to sound like a salesperson. You're going to get hung up like a salesperson gets hung up on if you do. You need to call people and just be like, I'm going to do both parts. So when you call somebody, it's going to sound a lot like this. And there's really good scripts on this on video. I am going to cover it right now. I've got it typed out as a script that you can practice. So as you start to get contracted with your carriers, really, that's the time to really kind of start working on that phone script. Somebody like you, Nicholas, the only thing you need to be focused on is getting through your course right now. But as you start finishing that up and you've got your license in your hand, it's time to start practicing that phone script. And so phone script is real simple. I'm going to role play with Joseph behind me. I'm just going to call you. I'm just doing mortgage protection, but this is how phone script should sound. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Joseph.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, buddy, it's Chris. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. You ready for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, trying to get ready for it, man.
We are too. Hey, listen, bud, reason I was just giving you a call, I'm actually giving you a call back. It looks like you had sent a form in trying to get some information on a mortgage protection program that they've got out there in your area. And just didn't know what time to schedule getting it out to you. Do you work? I mean, obviously you got Thanksgiving tomorrow, but like say, I think Saturday, like do you work like on the weekends? Do you work like a 9 to 5 or do you work like a night shift in your job?
I'm actually off on the weekends. Weekdays I work until 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay. If I were to put you down for a drop off between like say 10 and 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, is there any reason you would not be home to receive it?
No, we should be home Saturday.
Okay. Sounds good, buddy. Well, listen, my name's Chris. I drive a silver GMC. I'm about 6 foot, brown hair, so I won't be a stranger pulling up in your yard. But I'll get this stuff together and get it right out to you guys on, it looks like Heidi you put on the form. Is that right? That must be your wife?
Yes, that's my wife.
Okay. I'll bring this right out to you guys on Saturday morning between 10 and 11 o'clock.
Excellent. Look forward to seeing you.
And that's it. So obviously that was a clean run. But I'll say this, I don't get a lot of objections because I don't sound like a telemarketer when I call people. Ask me this time, a very obvious, what is this again? Or something like that. So just hit me with anything because I want to show you how to handle objections. I have a very simple procedure for handling any objection on the phone. It's a 3-part handle. And it's the scheme or the way you do it is you apologize, you downplay, and you rebook. That's it. It's those 3 things. So ask, I mean, you can hit me with anything this time. It doesn't really matter. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Joseph.
Yes.
Hey, buddy, it's Chris. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am good. You getting ready for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we're trying to.
My wife is too. So as soon as I wrap up here, I get to go home. Hey, listen, reason I was giving you a call, it looks like you had sent a form in or sent back to us, I guess, trying to get some information on a mortgage protection program that they've got out there. I just didn't know what time to schedule getting this out to you. It looks like Friday they've got deliveries getting set up. On Friday, do you work like a Monday or like a 9 to 5 or do you work like night shift?
Wait, Chris, I'm sorry, man. You said a form. I don't recall sending anything in.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. There's your apology. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. No, all this is, here's my downplay. All this is, oh, shoot, I'm sorry. That's the extent of it. It's not drawn out. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. No, all this is, it looks like, I guess, a company. I start disassociating myself. A company, not my company, not me. It looks like a company had sent you a form. Based on, I'm reading it here, I guess it covers like things like death, disability, and stuff like that. And somebody at your house just filled it out and sent it back. They put there. In fact, let me make sure I got the right person. In fact, hang on. Are you Joseph Kajy, right? Is that your name? Kajy?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And do you live at 123 Main Street?
Yeah, I do.
All right. I don't know if it was you or it looks like Heidi's here on the form. I'm not sure who filled this out, but it looks like you are 6 foot, 135 pounds. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
150 now.
150. Great. Good stuff. All right. But well, it sounds like I got the right person. Well, look, my job is just basically to get this stuff out to people. And I just didn't know. This is the rebook. I downplayed it. Now I'm just rebooking it. My job is just to basically set this stuff up. Hear how nonchalant I am and notice how much of a delivery person I am versus a salesperson. Here's what salespeople do. Well, I'm sure this was important to you when you filled it out, Joseph. I mean, Joseph's going to hang up the phone yesterday. He's not going to want to talk to me. But when I'm Joe, everybody, I'm the guy next door. I'm your friend. I'm your buddy. Hey, Joseph. And in fact, like how I start off is important, you know. And I'm going to cover this, and we'll practice this one-on-one. Okay. Diana said bye. She's going to watch the rest later. She had to take off. She has family photos going on. All right. So here's the deal. But when I start off and I say, you know, hey Joseph, hey, it's Chris, how are you? You know, it's not, hey, Mr. KG, or hi, this is Chris Long with Mortgage Protection Center. How are you doing today, sir? That's going to get a hang up on you. But I simply just say, hey Joseph, hey, it's Chris, how are you? Hear the downplay, the nonchalant part of my voice. That's how you need to be on the phone. And I'm gonna move on because we got a lot of videos on that. But when you and I practice together, I'm gonna hit on all this stuff. Okay, a lot. So the third pillar of production is phone script. Fourth pillar is in-home presentation. This is course 123. I do not have enough time on this startup call to really cover that in depth. I'm going to give you some tips. A lot of it's going to be like what I just said about phone script. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is you need to be as comfortable as an old shoe. You got to know how to talk to people. I would recommend talking to a lot of strangers. Say hey to people at gas stations. Act interested, be interested. Don't just act it, fake it till you make it. They got a cool car. Oh my God, what kind of car you got there? Oh, hey, I like, you know, so-and-so. I do too. I'm good at two things I like when I'm in public. I'm good at just talking to people. I do that part and practice part because it's kind of who I am. Just, you know, I don't know a stranger. Good trait to pick up. I'm also very good at complimenting people from a very genuine point of view. I like a lot of people's shoes. I like girls' nails if they look like they spent some money on their nails. I like their hair. I like a blouse. I like, you know, I'm a nice guy. It sounds oversimplistic, but I'm just one of the nicest, easiest going guys you're going to ever meet, especially when I'm in like a sales situation. I'm the guy that I'll go, you know, depending on the people after I've been here for a second, I'm going to go get something out of the fridge and ask them if they want something. You know, and I'm not suggesting that's like your opening move. But you want to be very comfortable around people. And I am. I genuinely love people. I do. I think everybody's interesting. I think none of us in this world have got it all figured out. I think we all struggle. I think we all question life itself. I think we all have, you know, joys and hates and fears and cries and happiness and sadness. And I think everybody's got their own story. And I'm just genuinely curious about people. And I think so I think people are neat. And so if you don't feel that way, start feeling that way. Because the definition of charisma is learning how to make other people feel good about themselves when you're around. I'll say it one more time. The definition of charisma is learning how to make other people feel good about themselves when you are around. Do not confuse it with making people feel good about you. This is not about you. This is about them constantly. And so just be very mindful of other people. If you master that skill set, in-home will take care of itself. I mean, first you got to get to know them, 15 minutes of small talk. We have an ATM, we have a whole patented sales system that when you go to course 123 on the NAA University that we were looking at earlier, Brant Swindells at the end does a phenomenal job, very technical. Watch all of them though, but I'm telling you this, if you don't get what I'm talking about down, you could be the best technical salesperson in the world. You're not going to sell anything. People got to like you before they trust you, and then they'll buy from you. Nobody jumps right to buy. Have you ever gone back to a store and bought something from a sales guy, even though it was cheaper somewhere else because you like the sales guy? All things being equal, people buy from people they like. And they got to like you, then they got to trust you, then they'll buy from you if you're competent. All right. And that's sales. That's it. So most important of those three is get people to like you and just start. It's hard to be just likable when you're inside the home. Be likable all the time. So just develop that personality. In fact, one of the first books, if you've never read it, it kind of gets right back to what I kicked off with. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a great book by Dale Carnegie. And so it's a staple. Practice your craft. Your craft is people. That I'm telling you right now, that is now your craft. Is learn how to interact with people. It will serve you very well, not only your sales, but also your relationships. Be a grown-up, be a mature person. All right, gotta move. All right, so number 4 is in-home presentation, course 123 on NAA University is where you're gonna learn all about that, the technical side of it. Heed my advice though, become as comfortable as an old shoe and you'll do well in in-home sales. Don't be fancy, don't be professional, be you. Be you. Last one is pending. Now, this is a technical skill set that's as complicated as learning how to log on to the different companies you become appointed with. Write down, make a spreadsheet of your username and passwords for Foresters, for Mutual of Omaha. Like, here's my username, here's my password, here's the web address. So you have a sheet that tells you how to log on to each one of them. Learn how to find your business in each one of them. Once you submit it, it's your job to go into and make sure it made it all the way to the carrier. Here's a tip. My office, I've got 2 people that their only jobs are to make sure that your business made it in to the insurance carriers. Here's the deal. I'm not you. It's more your business than mine. You're always going to make more money off of your business than I'm going to make and from anything you submit. So take responsibility for your business. Check it daily. See if there's any pending requirements. It's where the word pending comes from. But learn how to log in. And if you're not good at it, like me, hire somebody or rub your wife's back or husband's back or something. Get somebody that does not mind logging in and checking on paperwork type stuff. Okay. It's real simple. The underwriters are going to say things like, I had one this morning. It came in an email. So they needed the, hey, the signature, I did a conversion for somebody and the signature did not match their new signature 8 years later, didn't match their signature 8 years ago. They needed a driver's license. I take a picture of everybody's driver's license as soon as I get to their house. Well, once we start running the application, so it was easy to resolve. But that's an example of me working my pending business. Now, that one came in an email, so it made it easy. But a lot of times they don't. And so if you're not aware that, like when you submit business, there could be requirements of you. You got to learn how to log in, go to My Cases, and it's different for every product. Learn them. They're not complicated. Just become familiar with it as you start. This is an overlooked area of business that a lot of people miss, is learning how to check their pending. I've seen it overnight in my own, like, I don't teach this enough because, like, obviously, you know, we have a hierarchical nature to our business. And so, yes, part of the reason I train all, you know, people is that I want them to make money, but we make money when they make sales too. Like, we get overrides on our team. And so I learned a long time ago to hire somebody to make sure that the app's getting cleanly, and then also to check pending. I've seen our income go up almost immediately as soon as if we've slacked off from checking pending, just by checking pending and getting text. So there's a girl in my office named Taz that you could get a text message from or an email. Just stay cognizant of it. She's doing you a favor by checking your business for you. But don't let us be the first person that knows about a pending requirement in your business. Take ownership of it and learn how to check your pending. All right, that's it. So just to review, 5 things. Basic for the pillars of production, it was basic product knowledge. Those go to your NAA University, various courses there. I think 182 happened to be the Foresters one. There's some other ones in there. Learn about leads. I don't have the exact lead course there, but go to all courses, look for leads. I will teach you more about that. We're going to cover it more in depth at the boot camp we've got coming up. Learn your in-home phone presentation. That's going to be course 124 on NAA University. Learn your in-home presentation, the technical side of it. That's course 123 on your in-home on the NAA University. And then learn how to check pending. And that's pretty much just kind of on you. And that's just you being organized and just knowing that that's something that you should do. All right. Last topic before we all get to depart and get ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow. Pillars of building. You know, a lot of people when they first start, they lose sight of this, and I don't know why. Again, this is a personal thing, but I never wanted to be just a career salesperson. I always wanted something more. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a business owner. At some point, I knew that this body, as great as it is, it ain't that great. I did run 2.5 miles this morning, though, and I did 30 push-ups, so fired up. It's going to die. This body will die one day. It's going to get sick. You know, it's flesh and blood. I wanted my income not to be tied to just my physical ability to make sales, because I'm good at sales. I am. I mean, I had 2 days. I made $10,000 this weekend. That's stupid. I mean, it's just stupid that we have the opportunity to do that, right? And so I'm fired up. I'm going into holiday season, all fired up. You know, I had a great weekend. I got more that's coming up. So I'm going to be packing the bank account full doing that. It's like what we do is too easy not to go just out there and go crush it. So at some point, though, I'm not going to be able to do that. I might not want to do that. But my biggest fear is I'm not going to be able to somehow, some way. I get in a car wreck. I get disabled. Something happens to me. Great. How am I going to get out there now? Well, if we have the opportunity in this world to build a business, and the way it works is real simple. You start off by doing the stuff that I'm telling you, and you learn this business. But day one, you start trying to find some other people that might be interested in doing this. You do not beg. You do not chase. You do not try to convince. We're not looking to convince anybody. But there are so many people out there that are just hoping and wishing and praying for an opportunity to do something extra. Maybe not full time. We've got one of the best part-time opportunities in America. Our sales meetings are at night, for heaven's sakes. They start at 7, one night a week. So we have all these NAA University courses online. You can get a team started and you not train them. That's a big mistake. People try to train their teams. Don't. Until you get into where like you're an agency or a national manager or district manager or something, you got no business training your team. You're still trying to figure it out yourself. We've got systems in place that train your team. What you need to be good at is learning how to go do the business yourself and finding people that might want to do it with you. As soon as you find them, turn them over to people like me or like Joseph. We specialize in helping people get started. It's beyond you, and that's okay. It doesn't need to be your thing. When you find them, we put them on your team. You get commission on your own volume and your team's volume. All right. Now, listen to me here. Let's just say you only make 10% of commission off of somebody that goes out and makes a sale. That's great. So if they, let's say they write $1,000 AP. They come in at 55%. Right? Let's say they make $500. Let's just call it $500. Make the math easy. They're going to make about $500 from that sale. Let's just say you're at a 75%. All right. And there's some changes that are coming down. I'm not even going to cover promotion guidelines right now because there's some changes coming January 1 that are going to just skyrocket that. You guys are getting started at a great time because you're all going to go through the levels super fast. Like it's all the way up to 80% just like that. So you start off at a 55, you go 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. It's going to be unbelievable how fast you can get to it. You can also skip levels starting the first of the year too. You don't have to work your way through. So very exciting news coming. I can't really explain all of it right now because I'm not allowed to. That's why I was up in Indy. I was learning about it. So it's incredible. And if you're going to be a builder, oh my gosh, you're going to get rich. I'm telling you, it's crazy good. So anyway, here's the deal. So if you're at, let's call it 75%. You're at a 75%. You hire somebody, could be a friend, could be a coworker, could be somebody off of your warm market list or from your own contacts that I'll tell you about that called MC Backup in a few minutes here. Like maybe you just turned over a list to us and we found them for you. You never even called them. We did, but you referenced them for us. So we got to give you credit. They're on your team forever, for life. And so once we get this person up and running, they're to 55%. They go out and they make one sale for $83. That's $1,000 a year. They're at 55%. They're going to get $500, $550. You're at 75%. 75% minus 55% is 20%. That's a 20% yield spread you have on this one person that sold a $1,000 policy in one home. 20% of $1,000 is $200 into your bank account. 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. Some of the people on your team, 200, 200, 200. Every time somebody makes a sale on your team, you're going to get a piece of that action, right? So here's the thing. Think about this. As good as I am at sales, and I'm non-apologetically good at it, all right? There's nothing, I'm not arrogant about it. It's just a skill set that I was taught, and I've dedicated more than a decade to it. I should be good. I'd be ashamed if I wasn't. As good as I am, if I have 10 people on my team that I work with, and we say things like with, not under. Nobody's under anybody in here. We're all a team. Like I don't consider myself, I may be, in the hierarchy, your manager, but I don't see myself as above anybody that I'm talking to right now. I respect everybody's people. I would behoove you to have that attitude, first of all. So I've got a team that I work with, right? And so I've got 10 people that I have 10% yield spread on. So literally my team, I can make as much from my team as I'm making to myself, for me doing the work myself. Pretty cool. Here's the crazy thing. As soon as I hire an 11th person, my team is producing more income for me than I can produce for myself. Once I understood that, I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm one person. There's only 24 hours in a day. I can hire as many people as I want. I can start to multiply my income over and over and over and over again. So figure out why you want to do this business. Decide early. If you say things like, yeah, well, I just want to get on my feet and then one day I'm going to build a team. What's his face? What's this guy? Brian Tracy. He spoke at one of our conferences. He calls that someday I'll. He says so many people spend their life waiting to go to someday I'll. like it's someday island, but it's basically someday I'm going to do that. Someday I'll do that. Someday I'll do this. Get started now. I'm not licensed yet. I don't care. We have the ability to put people on your team immediately to hold that spot for you. All right. And so one of the easiest ways you can do that, there's a tool called MC Backup. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has contacts in it. You download this program called MC Backup. If you have an Android, it's called Contacts to Excel. Download it. It produces a list of people, a spreadsheet. You're going to mail that list to me. I'm going to format it, and I'm going to send it back to you because I want you to delete people like your ex-girlfriends and people you don't want me calling her. No, I hate that guy. All I'm going to do is I'm going to call him up. I'm going to say, so let's say I got a list from Joseph. All right, he sent me the spreadsheet. He sent it back to me, marked off a few people. I delete those, but I call the other people he left on there. These are people that he met years ago that are just acquaintances or people that know him. So I'm going to call him up. So let's just say, so you're not you, you're somebody else. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Joseph.
Yes, it's him.
Hey, buddy. My name's Chris. Listen, I got your name and number from Andy Riddle. Do you know Andy?
Yeah, I know Andy. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, good. All right. First of all, I'm glad I got the right person. Hey, listen, we are in the business of helping families like get these like products that they ask for. And I was asking him if he knew anybody that was, sharp as at least he was, and might be interested in making a little bit of extra money on the side by responding to people that request information on our products and just kind of help them get it. First of all, before I go really into this, are you open to making any extra money right now, like on a part-time basis?
Absolutely.
You are? Okay. Well, look, I'd love to, I'd like to chat with you a little bit, so I can kind of walk you through exactly what we do, the ins and outs of it. When it would be a good time to talk, maybe like 15 minutes or so. And then we
call me after 5.
And we set up. So this time say, nah, I'm all good. Like, give me that one.
No, man, I'm all good. I'm okay.
Oh, sweet. All right, awesome. Well, listen, no problem, no pressure at all. I'll tell Andy that we said, hey, I said hey to you though. He had some good things to say about you. But listen, if you know anybody that's looking, we're kind of a new company, and we're trying to get some good salespeople up in here. But listen, glad things are going well for you, and have a great day. Okay, bud.
Thank you too.
That's it. So it's super, super, super low pressure. The reason I do that, I'm not in the arm twisting business. That's not my deal. I don't even want to work with people that don't want to work with me. I'm really good at exposing our opportunity to people in a very non-high pressure way. And so if you call them and you say, hey man, I got this deal, they're going to be very suspicious of you. But if I call them, or Joseph calls them from an office, and we just say, hey, we were referred to you, and I have no idea. We're real super nice. We talk to them. We're going to find some people and put them on your team. And while you're going through your course, you're going to have like a team waiting on you that's going to instantly skyrocket your commission rate, because now we get to skip commission rates. And so you don't have to work your way through. So by the time you're done, you got your team coming on board. They're getting done. We're going to really, and by the way, as they get going, we're going to be asking them the same question. They're going to be on a call just like this. I'm going to explode your organization for you if you'll work with me and let me help you do that. And you're going to make a ton of money. The reason I'm doing it is because I love you and we make money too, right? So it's like a joint venture that we do this. But the biggest thing I want to remind you of is that we're super nice. We're very low pressure. We're literally just looking for people that are looking. And by having a professional office call them on a list like you have, by using that MC Backup program, it's going to come off way better. And you're going to have a lot of fun. And some of those guys are going to work out for you, and you're going to get to travel the world with them, and you're going to have a blast. And they're going to thank you for introducing them to this opportunity. I've had a lot of people thank me for bringing them on board, like hugs, tears, the whole 9 yards, because what we have is special, and it's not for everybody, but for the people that it agrees with, it's like what they've been looking for their whole life. And I've seen lives changed. I've seen addictions healed. Like I've seen crazy things in this business that have nothing to do with money, but have to do with life. And there's some special people out there, and they're in your phones, and you don't even know it yet. Everybody walks around acting like the world's great. There's a lot of pain in a lot of people's lives, and you just need something. Some people need a financial opportunity. Some people need a friend. Some people need something to belong to. Good news, we've got something that accommodates all of those things and more. And so I would implore you, even if you don't feel like growing a team, don't. Let me grow it for you. It'll help prop up your contract rate, but do that MC Backup thing. Ask me about it. I'm going to ask you about it too. It's something I believe in, because I believe there's a lot of people out there looking. Once we exhaust that, I'm going to teach you some cold market skills, how to run ads, like Joseph's really good at it. He'll either me or him. We'll teach you some of the basics about how to find people like Nicholas. We found you today. All right. So that's your cold market to me. I mean, hopefully one day, we're going to be great buddies and like sailing the world and stuff together. But like we just met Nicholas. And so we're getting to know each other, but we found him, I don't even know how, like Craigslist, ZipRecruiter, something, Indeed, Craig. I don't even know what it was. Doesn't matter, but there's techniques to find people. But the fastest way to get started is using that NC backup or contacts to Excel, and let us kind of work your warm market list for you. Don't try to do it yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. You got buddies that you're going to like, hey, you need to do this. They're going to listen to you because you're tight. You do that. Let me talk to people that are you're more like acquaintances or whatever. And remember, you get the opportunity to knock out people that you don't want us calling, because everybody's got those weird ones in there. The only reason they're in their phone is so you don't answer it if they call. Right? So you're like, oh my gosh, no, don't answer the phone. All right. All right. So that's recruiting. Building is actually is easy. People make it hard. There's two skill sets here, and we're done. This is the end of the call right here. As you start building a team, and you're going to want to trust me. That's like, let me give you my numbers real quick. My first year, I started in September of 2007. I started going full time January 1 of 2008. My very first year, I made $120,000. $90,000 was sales. $30,000 was from team that I'd started to put together. My second year in business, I made $30,000 from sales. Big change from 90 all the way down to 30, but I made an additional $220,000 on the people that I'd hired and helped get going. So I was 35 and I made $250,000 my very second year in this business. Third year was 306. I don't think I wrote any business that year. I was just getting my infrastructure in place. And so very quickly, I was like, all of a sudden I was financially free and retired at age 36, and so it was crazy. So recruiting is what we just talked about. It's finding people that are looking for opportunity. Building is helping them get started and keeping them happy and making them productive members of your team and in their world and their own business. The way you do that is easy. You learn how to edify people, how to talk good about people and promote them. Like, you guys are starting to get to know me. Joseph does a great job of this. Like, I'm just a guy. Like, sometimes like people think I walk on water, and it's mostly because he's promoted me really good. We call that edification. That's good. I've accomplished some things in this business. I've been like number 6 in the country. Even just this, like what I did this last weekend is edifiable. Like I made 10,000. I wrote 10,000 in business in 2 days. That's worth edifying. And so what that does is that lets you know, and this is kind of weird to talk about, but I'm sort of over it, so I'm just going to do it. When somebody edifies me to you, it gives me credibility. You actually know I'm not just some guy, but I've got some credibility. I know what I'm talking about. You're more likely to listen to me if you think I know what I'm talking about. Here's a problem. If I come in and say, dude, you got to listen to me. I am the bomb diggity, right? Am I talking about how great I am? Almost like I'm kind of doing right now. So I'm like walking on a thin line right now, but I'm trying to teach a point. If I do nothing but talk about how great I am, I'm an arrogant prick. Nobody's going to like me. And they're just like, that guy's stupid. But if somebody else talks about me, there's a weird formula. It's called people believe in people that believe in people. So if I'm people, that's you. Believe in people, that's Joseph, that believe in people. You believe in me now, you're more likely to listen to me. Here's the good news. My advice is sound, but now you'll actually listen to it and you'll do well. If we don't have that, we just got you and then there's me. If I'm arrogant and tell you how great I am trying to convince you to listen to me, you're not going to listen to me and you're not going to get the skill set you need to do well at this job. All right. And so edification is important. Learning how to edify properly, learning how to build up your growing up line. Again, I don't like the big term up, down. We're all in this thing together. But we have to call it something. So, if you learn how to edify your growing upline, talk well about people that are in the position and have the financial incentive to help you and help people on your team, you're going to be able to get a lot more done. First of all, you're not going to have to do it yourself. You got people like myself that have staff that have the resources. They're going to be able to get them leads, be able to get, send them a book, stuff like that. Give them the tools that they're going to need. You want to partner with me to do that. You're not going to do that unless I have good staff like Joseph. And here's the thing, the things that I do, it has to be real. If you try to edify, if Joseph said, man, he's awesome at sales and I ain't sold anything in 5 months, that's fake edification. And that's a lie. It doesn't mean, so edification, you got to find what people are good at and learn how to edify that. Learn how to speak well of people, because when you talk to your buddy and say, man, you got to talk to this guy, he's crazy, wears crazy shirts. He talks like, he makes a bunch of money, but you think he's like your next door neighbor, but listen to him. If I call your buddy's going to listen to me because you've edified me. And it's like a shake and bake. Like, we're working together in that deal right there. Like, me and you are partners. Here's my job. I talk to your buddy. Let's just say it's Nicholas. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just met that guy, but man, he's got hunger in his eyes I ain't never seen. And when I talked to him, I was surprised. He's young, but man, he seems like he knows how to sell already. And so I have to give you back edification. Otherwise, it's just me hogging glory. That's not going to work. You edify me, and then I turn it back and give it to you. Again, we're business partners. We're just create a very strong bond that's going to help your team listen to both of us and give them good advice so they can grow. They just won't listen to us otherwise. And so you got to learn that. And so you got to be good at edifying people, the right people, and for the right reasons. And you got to learn how to promote. Promoting is just trying to get people to go to conferences and do the right thing. Like I was promoting MC Backup. Why? I know it's going to help you. I'm going to promote things like the boot camp. How many times have I said December 8th? I'm promoting. Why? Because no one is impervious to the environments that they put themselves in. I'm going to try to promote good environments to you. I'm going to tell you, hey, you need to get to boot camp. It's December 8th. Get there. Get a room. Carpool. I don't care. Get your butt to boot camp. Why? We're going to create a very good environment. We're going to have about 40 to 80 people here that are all heading in the same direction, and it's going to be positive. It's going to be fun, uplifting, and you're going to learn some crazy good stuff while you're here. It's a good environment. I'm going to be selling you hard on the convention coming up in January, at the end of January. It's $169. It includes like a black tie dinner. It's included. But you're going to be around insurance carriers. You're going to be around all the people, the top salespeople in the company. You're going to be learning from them. You're going to have the opportunity to have dinner with them and ask questions. So I'm going to be selling you on that. Why? Because I've learned how to edify. I'm going to talk well about, like, one of the reasons I showed Andy Albright's book. I'm trying to edify him to you so you understand how special that guy is. He bought his second jet. He started off broke. They had no money. He's built this whole company. So I've got to be really good. So in our world, you need to edify Andy Albright and me, since I'm your next highest link up to him. I'm going to edify you. Andy's probably not, because he doesn't know you yet. Make a name for yourself, and he will. I mean, he's looking for young, sharp people. I mean, that joker, he takes people to basketball games, football games, throws them on his private jet, takes you around the country. If you get out there and start killing it, I've known the man for 11 years. We're friends, and he wants to help me grow. I'm going to be saying, hey, you got to talk to this guy. He's going to start talking to you. Next thing you know, you're going to be flying on a private jet somewhere. It's two things. It's my influence, but it's also your production. Like, you've got to go out and either build or sell or do both. And if you're good at it, you will be noticed. We're a big company, but we're a small company. And so my part of my job is, and that's where I'm doing that edification again. I'm trying to sell you to the people that are going to be able to help you. You got to put some skin in the game. You've got to show some success out there. You got to win. But as you start winning, I'm going to be one of your biggest promoters. I'm going to be lifting you up. So guys above myself that are at a higher pay grade can help you get, because if you make more money than me, I'm fired up. Actually, I'm not, because I like to win, but I will help you. And under the new system that we got, I'm super incentivized to do it. And so are you. I can't wait to roll that out to you guys. All right. So it's 4:00. Call in an hour and a half, just like I thought. So that's perfect. I hope you learned something today. I hope you got something out of it. Give me some feedback. Shoot me a text. If you have any questions, let me know too. We're going to be close partners. We're going to be working together. We've got a lot of good resources. You own half of everything I gave to you, because you're going to have to do that homework on the products and stuff. But my goal was really just to kind of introduce you to a lot of these concepts and try to help you out. I hope everybody on the call has a fantastic Thanksgiving. Chill out, relax. It's going to be fun. Pretty much starting here in a few minutes in our world. We got some cooking going on. I got a turkey to throw in a smoker and an oven, and enjoy your family. This is a really special time of year, and welcome to the family, our family. I'm so looking forward to getting to know some of you guys and working with you. I'm just so excited, about ready to come out of my skin. We're going to build something really big and really special in 2019, and I want each and every one of you guys to be a big part of it. So I hope you are. With that, that's the call. Take care. Later. Bye, everybody.